Ba-dum, ba-dum, bum. Ba-dum, ba-dum, bum. La 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 bum bum. Ba-dum, ba-dum, bum bum. You know, there are two people that make excuses for not having, and you know, if you're a professional photographer, there's Benjamin Canarac, who's a world famous fashion photographer, who's called me several times. He recently sent me a link today showing that the cover of Elle magazine in Europe, it was a nice Asian lady, was taken with an iPhone. It was the first ever Elle magazine cover taken with an iPhone, which is a 12 megapixel camera. Hell, the Nikon D3 was a 12 megapixel camera. There are two people that make excuses for, like, say the Fujifilm. Let me put on my GFX hat right now. Wham! There we go. No, obviously Fuji does not sponsor me. You think Fuji would sponsor somebody like me? No. Here's the thing. People make two excuses. Well, the camera's expensive, but not really. It's actually incredibly cheap. But people are making excuses for the GFX. Well, you don't need 51 megapixels. That is true. It's all about the photographer. It's all about lighting. It's all about your mind. You don't... Almost nobody needs those 51 megapixels. The second thing, well, it's actually... well, the second thing, before I get on to the third thing, which is the important thing of this video, is that which would you rather have? A small 6-inch sandwich when you're starving to death, and then, you know, eat the 6-inch sandwich and be wanting for more, or get like a, you know, 14-inch hoagie and, like, you know, make your way through about 10 inches of it, and then be stuffed and have a lot left over. The same thing applies to the GFX. But when you can crop the hell out of the shot, I mean, just crop the hell out of it, and you have so much there to work with. You know, there are lots of people that have valid reasons for complaining that there's not enough, but there are extremely few times, and there's none in photography when it comes to the image, where it's just like there's just too much information. There's no professional photographer on earth that says there's too much information here. Nobody bitches about that. They don't. It's like, I can't crop this image enough, I can't enlarge it enough. 12 megapixels enough for 20 by 30. But what if you want to crop the hell out of it? What if you want incredible dynamic range? Anyway, I posted some raw files from the GFX a couple days ago. I think it was a couple days ago. For people to download. I take this hat off because it's making my head hot. Right, my head hot, right? And a lot of you downloaded those raw files for straight out of camera and edited them your own way. That was wonderful. I love looking at the images. People left so many comments. There's a lot of hardcore pros too that posted them up on their Flickr page. I was looking at their image like, wow, this is great work. And not the images that they edited, but I was looking at their other work. They were incredibly shocked. I mean, people just you know, had their crotch blown off. As they say. That's a southern saying. It's like when you're shocked and you're like 10 steps above shocked. There's just so much detail, so much dynamic range, so much to work with. There's a lot of people that left a comment like, these images are just too sharp. You know, there's too much to see. I got to dumb them down. Another mistake people make is like, well, 51 megapixels, so damn what? You know, the Canon 5DSR is a 51 megapixel camera also. There's a huge difference there. What is 51 megapixels not equal to 51 megapixels? Well, that doesn't make any damn sense. Well, if you don't know what you're talking about, then that would be true. 51 megapixels is not 51 megapixels. That's like, you know, you go to the grocery store, you like see a dozen eggs, and they're those little tiny eggs, and then you see you see a dozen eggs, and they're like super jumbo eggs. And you're like, wow, you know, 2 of those eggs equals 4 of those little puny bastard eggs. You know what I'm talking about, don't you, huh? It's the same thing with 51 megapixels on a sensor whose image does not need to be blown up that much to, say, reach a 20 by 30. And secondly, has much better native gain, or native SNR. Okay? Native SNR, signal noise ratio, better dynamic range. The dynamic range in the GFX, even though it's 51 megapixels, will blow the piss snot out of the 5DSR under the exact same lighting conditions. Imagine where you have the exact same lens, okay? Not that there is the same lens that would go between two, well, you could with an adapter. Same shooting, same lighting, same lens. You know, the GFX will blow the hell out of it. So I got so many comments and so many emails and so many edited images. People are just incredibly shocked. I love the fact that some of these people say, well, you know, GFX is not really a medium format. Well, if you want to call the Phase 1, you might as well call the Phase 1 a large format sensor. You know, it's a huge digital sensor at $48,000. If the GFX, I mean, if the if the Phase 1 is technically a large format sensor because it's the huge honker, then definitely the GFX is medium format. Same sensor in GFX as there is in the Mamiya Leaf and the Pentax Z and that horrible junk muffin, the Hasselblad X1D. Got horrible reviews. So there's where 51 megapixels is not the same as 51 megapixels. There's a huge difference. Same difference between a dozen jumbo eggs and a dozen, you know, puny, sickly eggs. When I go to the grocery store, I never figured out why people got like a dozen of those small. Just get like the jumbo eggs. You ain't gonna buy a dozen eggs. Get the big ones. The ones where when the chicken laid it, you know, it nearly passed. You know, trying to pass an igloo, as the old saying goes. So anyway, I found those comments shocking and the emails shocking. It wasn't really shocking, but that I got so many of them. And so many people were like, "Oh my God, the dynamic range, the details, it's too much! Oh my God!" There's a lot of emails like that. It was really funny and amusing. So maybe borrow one. You know, very few people need the GFX. Obviously so. But there you go. GFX. Now, borrow one. Go take some test shots. I thought most of you had already like downloaded raw files from the GFX, but really apparently not, because there's a lot of pros out there that downloaded those raw images I posted. They're like, wow, this is amazing, amazing. Thanks for watching. I just wanted to make a video about that because I found it shocking. Not shocking, but as shocking as so many people left those comments. It is like 12 midnight and I am tired. Yeah, I know. Now someone's going to say, "You repeated yourself too much. I hate you. I'm unsubscribing. You suck." Whatever. Girlfriend. Whatever.